guys, want to welcome you, friends and family. So excited to be here with you today. And I just want you to remember, with Elevate, our goal is to be a coaching mentorship program with an emphasis on leadership. And one of the ways we do that is we try to go through a book a quarter. One of our newest team members and a great friend of mine, Dwayne, we've probably known each other since about 2018 or 19. We started working together.
Yes, I'd say it's somewhere in there.
Yeah. And so the way Dwayne and I began to work together is we would find flip homes that were generally a lot of times in pretty bad shape. I mean, we dug into some pretty rough ones. That one on Cedar Drive in Sparta.
We took sometimes that other people wouldn't.
Yes. And I actually think that's what Dwayne was looking for. Like, the worse shape it was, the more he accepted the challenge and the more he would dig in there and get it and do it. And he always just put out a phenomenal product. So I'm saying all that to say, me and Dwayne's been working together now probably well over 6 years. I've got to know Dwayne, Misty, his amazing wife, his amazing son, Austin, two beautiful twin girls. And I would say probably a couple years ago, me and Dwayne talked. And Dwayne basically said, Elijah, I want to continue to partner with you, and I'm going to do that one or two ways. I'm either going to keep working on these flips, which are a little aggravating, because finding good people to show up every day and do what they say they're going to do, you could do the work no problem, but finding reliable people got to be a challenge. And I think every leader has that in their that's always a challenge, right? Like finding good people and people that want to show up and get the job done every day with you. That's always a challenge. But Dwayne, he said, or I'll come on the sales team. And so shortly after that, I left him a $100 gift card to Men's Warehouse, and he said, I think you're trying to tell me something. So that was
the beginning of reality setting in right there.
So we have Mr. Dwayne here today with us. You've been with us now. We've started, the first January?
January the 6th.
January the 6th. And in a very short time, he done what this program asked him to do. He started calling his center of influence, people that know him, like him, trust him. And very quickly, we ran into Mr. Stan, went out there on Broad Street. Do you remember the address of that home?
Can't remember right off.
Yeah, it's on Broad Street, 2 acres, big, completely well done home, quality built home. This guy went through it with a white glove. And we listed it. So it's probably already on the market. If not, it's going to come to the market pretty soon. Maybe good we didn't remember the address, because we can actually get in trouble if we say it before it comes to the market. Right. So that's coming. And then, we really have a lot of opportunities, folks calling from all over the United States. And Dwayne, in a pinch, gave us a hand, met with some phenomenal people, had his first buyer rep signed last week on Friday. I think me and you went and met Art and Mary Jo. Right. And then today one day this week, he's going to go back out, and then he does again what the program asked him to do, call through your COI, and he'll be listing a nice property that he actually helped remodel on Bonnier Mountain. Right. So I just want to give kudos to Dwayne, kudos to the program. And then Dwayne, again, his first weekend, he led us in a quarterly book right here, Grace Over Grind by Shay Bynes. And so tell us a little bit in chapter 2, you helped oversee that. What's some things that stood out to you there, Mr. Dwayne?
Yeah, the big thing that I took out of this was she gave us many examples here, but always putting God first in everything that we do, and that takes priority over the grind, and everything else is going to come into view shortly thereafter. So we just need to always put Him first, and the whole chapter really emphasizes on that, So she said you can give in to anxiety or give in to that, So we choose to put the Lord first, and then the anxiety sort of subside, and we just go about and do our job.
That's right. One of the things that you had shared with us a little bit about is when you don't know what to do something.
Right.
Take action. Don't get stuck in worry. Don't get stuck in maybe overthinking. Pray and then take action.
Right, and there's so many distractions that we can get involved in. Most of the time we watch the news or read the newspaper. Not so much newspaper anymore. I'm giving my age away on the newspaper, but just social media and a lot of things like that is not always good. So the word is always the same. So just take time to do that and focus on that, and everything else will fall into place.
Dwayne, you told us today that you had served in Desert Storm
Yes, sir.
and something Shield.
There's Desert Shield and Desert Storm, 1990 and 1991.
Okay, and obviously those are probably kind of scary times. Could bring some anxiety to one's life.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always thought like this? Have you always thought, put God first, and that kind of gets anxiety out of your life, or is that?
Well, that's something that my mom and my family instilled in me very early on. Got away from it for a while, but I was blessed well enough to stick around long enough to get back with the program, and I'm in good shape today.
Amen. Amen. Because you never really know where you might be in life or what challenges might be coming. And it's always pretty easy to go to, Coach Michael Burke calls it negative town, when things aren't going our way. I am one of the, I'm just, I'll be 50, Dwayne, in July. And I've just always just kind of hard drove things through life. If there's a problem, just drive through it. And but I think the older I'm getting, I'm realizing that's probably not the best plan, And also, I think I realized that physically, that may not always be a possibility.
Well, anything's possible with age. I turned 57 on December the 27th, and then on December the 29th, I took and passed my real estate exam. So, just because you're 50, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah, that's very true. Average age of average age of a real estate agent right now is 55. So it's one of the blessings of being in your first time. Home buyers are now waiting to the age of 40 to buy their first home. Isn't that insane, man? How old were you when you bought your first home?
19.
19. So, and that's the blessing of buying young. You get all that equity compounds over time. It builds up. And if you're being wise with your money, here's another thing, Dwayne. When somebody retires at the age of 65, the average person that retires at the age of 65 has a net worth of 408 or 10,000. The average home right now sells is about 415.
Huh.
The average tenant when they retire at 65 has a net worth of about 10 to 18,000 is the numbers I've from like studying realtor.com and different places. That tells me that we as Americans are pretty poor savers. But if we invest in home and in land, then we'll have a really good return, just like if we invest in putting our faith in God or building ourselves to be better leaders or pouring into our families. These things compound over time. And so learning, like Shay Bynes is teaching us here in Grace Over Grind, learning to, and again in Ephesians it tells us that grace is a free gift from God, by faith that we receive this. And it's a power that's more powerful than ourselves. So when we get in those anxious times, that we don't have to rely on Elijah or in my own strength. It gets to be in God's strength. And I think as I get older, I appreciate that more and more. Maybe he had to knock a little of Elijah out so he could become a little more comfortable saying that. But I am so grateful, man. So grateful you're here, Dwayne. So grateful that you've added your value and lended us your strength. And Austin, you had Austin come probably 6 months before you. I'm going to brag on Austin just a little bit, if you don't mind.
I'm good with that.
Austin is, man, when I first met Dwayne, I loved Dwayne. And shortly after, he introduced me to his son, Austin. And I'll never forget, Austin was probably a sophomore or freshman. He's probably a freshman at that time.
Probably.
And he was reading a book. I'm like, Austin, what's the book you're reading? It was something historical, and he started telling me about it. So every time I'd see Austin, I'd say, Austin, what book are you reading? And he always had a new book or something that he was going through. So when Dwayne asked if he's a senior in Upperman, and he gets that work program, so I think around 11:30 they'll let him go to a job if he has. And so Dwayne asked if it's possible to bring him in. And of course we already knew Austin loved him, and he gets to come in most days at 11:30, 12 o'clock, and a lot of times he'll edit these videos. But he is the sharpest young man, and he has the blessing of getting to work with Mr. Lucas McCoy in the listing position, and Lucas has really poured into him and taught him that. he's such a quick study. I mean, he catches on to things really, really quick. Lindsay, my wife, and I think if anybody gets to know Lindsay, man, to know her heart is to know she has the biggest and kindest heart. But she's very driven, and like she likes to move at a pace. And so she always is calling on Austin to give a hand in different areas, and Austin is always stepping up. So we know, I remember when this young man told me 2 years ago when you were thinking about transitioning, and he said, Elijah, I got to find my voice. You know, with Dad being there, he said, you know, it's always been kind of, I'm in the shadow, and it worked out pretty good. He said, but eventually I've got to start finding my own voice. And I see him doing that. And I'm going to tell you guys, most people don't do that their senior year. It probably took me well into my mid-30s to start trying to find mine. I'm still developing it, by the way. But I'm so impressed, so thankful for Austin as well. Thankful for Dwayne, Misty, and these beautiful girls. So thank you for being here, brother.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity. I'm very proud of Austin. He's become a very good young man. He too is in the church. I'm most proud of that. He's working very well. I thank Lucas for all of his input and taking care of him here, and all the good folks at Elevate. It's a blessing to come in every day, and the culture that here is just phenomenal. It's not like anything that I've ever been a part of before. I'm very thankful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful community with wonderful people. Again, we are a coaching mentorship program with an emphasis on leadership. If you are thinking about getting involved in a sales career, this 2026 can be your year to elevate and dominate. If you're thinking of selling or buying real estate, we'd love the opportunity to talk to you more about that. Give us a call here at Elevate. Again, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you.